Dealerships across the US are overloaded with cars they just can't sell. Some cars are moving just fine, while others are piling up by the thousands with nobody willing to buy them. Is it poor reliability, bad timing, or just the competition holding them back? Today, we're looking at 10 cars that are rotting away at dealerships, breaking down the numbers and the reasons why no one's driving them home. Starting with Number 1. Jeep Grand Wagoneer.
From most angles, a little bulbous and weird, and I was disappointed that they didn't do more callbacks to the heritage of the old Grand Wagoneer. Now that I see it in person, I still feel that way, but less so. It's not quite as goofy and awkward looking as I thought it would be. It's not great, and there are certainly some angles where it's really not that good at all, but it isn't really that bad. Certainly not as bad as I was expecting, and I think it's fine. I am disappointed, though, that there aren't more retro details.
The Jeep Grand Wagoneer was meant to be Jeep's luxury SUV flagship, but instead, it's struggling to find buyers. With an average price of $102,479, it's one of the most expensive SUVs in its class. But despite the premium features, dealers are stuck with a 288-day supply, which is 193% above the market average, and 2,587 unsold units across the US. Jeep has even started paying dealers $10,000 per unit just to get them off the lot and move inventory. But reliability is a major issue. Consumer Reports rates the 2024 Grand Wagoneer 2.5 out of 5 stars, and it has already seen 5 recalls since 2021, covering airbags, steering, and powertrain components. Owners have reported engines overheating, transmission failures, and highway speed vibration problems, which isn't something you'd expect from a 6-figure SUV competing with Cadillac, Escalade, and Range Rover. Fuel economy is another downside. At 17 mpg combined, it's one of the least efficient options in its class. That's a tough sell when gas prices are high, and competitors like the Lincoln Navigator are offering better mileage. Jeep recently cut prices on the 2025 model by $3,000 to $6,000, but considering Jeep prices have surged 156% over the last 5 years, that might not be enough. The base Series 1 model starts at $86,945, while the top-tier Series 3 Obsidian trim costs $111,540, offering premium wheels, ventilated second-row seats, and exclusive exterior colors. Despite a 25% sale increase in 2024, depreciation and ongoing quality concerns are making the Grand Wagoneer a tough investment for buyers. Number 2. Ford Escape.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, it just gives it a more upscale look. We are testing a fully loaded ST Elite version. So there are new trims starting in 2023. There's the Active, that's the base trim, and then there are 3 different models in the ST line, and then there's the Platinum. Overall, the dimensions of this Escape about the same as many of its competitors, not huge differences. Again, subtle changes, but it does give this version a more upscale look.
The Ford Escape used to be one of the best-selling compact SUVs, but now it's struggling to compete with other brands. Despite an average price of $28,000, dealerships are facing an oversupply of 46,907 unsold units. Ford's biggest downside with models like the Escape is reliability. Users have noted transmission failures and electrical issues, leading to a below-average predicted reliability rating of 3.3 stars. In a segment where buyers expect durability, this has pushed consumers towards more reliable alternatives, like the Toyota RAV4 and Honda CR-V. Fuel efficiency is another drawback. The Escape delivers an EPA estimated 26 mpg combined, falling behind key competitors that offer 30-plus mpg. In a market where fuel economy is a major selling point, this is a huge disadvantage. Even Ford's latest refresh with updated styling and tech hasn't been enough to turn things around. The Escape struggles to stand out, with buyers preferring rivals that offer better resale value and fewer long-term ownership costs. The 2025 model lineup ranges from $29,495 base trim to $39,995 Platinum Hybrid all-wheel drive model. But there are no takers when you compare the reliability with something like a Honda or a Toyota. Without major improvements, this compact SUV could slip further behind the competition and possibly end production soon. Number 3. Audi Q6 e-tron Quattro.
Whether or not this car can pass the anti-trolley length test, well, when it comes at the end of this year, we will show you whether or not it passes. And if that 526 liters worth of hauling capacity isn't enough for you, well, the Q6 e-tron offers you 64 liters of frunk for you to put any cables, muddy shoes, grocery bags. It's all here.
Audi's Q6 e-tron Quattro was supposed to be a game changer in the luxury electric SUV market, but so far, it's falling flat. With a starting price of $63,800, it sits in the premium segment, but consumer demand has been weak. As of late 2024, Audi's US sales dropped by 14%, with the Q5 seeing a 23% decline, which is troubling for the entire lineup. The Q6 e-tron is still pretty new and could probably take some time to be rated by consumers because early buyers are in the dark about long-term durability. But that doesn't mean things are going off without a hitch here. Some owners have already reported software glitches affecting the infotainment system, which impacts the user experience. The EPA estimated range of 295 miles is competitive, but Tesla's Model Y and BMW's iX offer more advanced tech and longer driving ranges, making the Q6 e-tron feel less compelling. Globally, Audi's EV sales dropped 8% in 2024, signaling a shift in consumer interest. With tough competition in the electric SUV market, the Q6 e-tron is struggling to find its place. Audi has placed the Q6 e-tron between the Q4 and Q8, with base trim starting at $63,800, while the high-performance SQ6 variant crosses $80,000. But considering the slow sales and high skepticism against Audi EVs, the Q6 e-tron might not be the success Audi was hoping for. Number 4. Alfa Romeo Tonale.
Great looking.
The color, the wheels, like, it's game over for every other company that makes wheels. They all suck compared to this.
You are 100% correct. These are gorgeous wheels. Alfa Romeo top trim wheels are always perfect.
They look so cool in the rolling shots. And for everyone out there, the headlights, fantastic design.
The Alfa Romeo Tonale entered the luxury compact SUV market with high hopes, but it's struggling to make an impact. Dealers are stuck with a 264-day supply and 1,792 unsold units nationwide, with an average price of $52,163. People who have bought the car are seeing below-average reliability for the 2025 Tonale, based on Alfa Romeo's troubled history. The 2024 model already has 5 recalls, ranging from software failures to fire risks. Fuel efficiency isn't helping either, with the plug-in hybrid model offering just 33 miles of electric range, which falls behind competitors like the Lexus NX and Volvo XC60 Recharge. Cargo space is also limited at 385 liters, so families who want a little extra room end up skipping out on this one. Alfa Romeo sales dropped 19% in 2024, making 4 consecutive years of decline. In response, the company simplified its 2025 lineup by reducing model options in hopes of streamlining sales. While the Tonale's Italian styling and performance appeal to enthusiasts, its reliability concerns, limited practicality, and weak sales numbers have left it struggling in a competitive segment. Number 5. Cadillac Escalade IQ.
An Escalade and only 3 inches shorter than the ESV variant, which is truly amazing because this is the regular length IQ Escalade. The L hasn't even come out yet and it's already so massive. First of all, we have massive 24-inch wheels on this Escalade. On most other vehicles, these wheels would look oversized. However, because this truck is so big, the wheels actually fit the vehicle perfectly. There is also a beautiful Cadillac crest on both of the front doors, as well as a yellow turn signal, which looks very nice. There are also side steps on this vehicle to make getting in and out a little bit easier. However, they are a little small and they don't retract like the ICE Escalade.
Cadillac's electronic Escalade IQ was supposed to redefine luxury SUVs, but instead, it's facing a slow start. With an average price of $139,701, dealers are stuck with a 226-day supply and 4,089 unsold units across the US. Early quality issues aren't helping. Some owners have reported misaligned components and missing wheel bearings, raising concerns about Cadillac's build quality on a six-figure SUV. The EPA estimated 450-mile range is competitive, but real-world efficiency suffers due to the Escalade IQ's massive weight and size. In urban settings, frequent charging may become an issue, especially with slower charging speeds compared to Tesla and Rivian. Cadillac's pricing strategy is another challenge. The base Luxury One trim starts at $129,990, while the top-tier Sport 2 trim exceeds $150,490. Putting it against established luxury EV brands like Tesla, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz. Despite GM's push toward electrification, Cadillac EV sales have been slow, and with a shrinking luxury EV market, the Escalade IQ isn't moving fast enough. Dealers have started offering incentives and lease discounts just months after its release, a sign that Cadillac may have overestimated demand. For now, the Escalade IQ remains an expensive gamble in an uncertain EV market. Number 6. Maserati Grecale.
This is the Maserati Grecale Trofeo, and it brings some exotic to the small luxury SUV world. The Porsche Macan, the BMW X3M, the Audi SQ5, they're all fine, but they don't have the cachet of the Maserati brand name. The high-performance version of the Grecale with a turbo V6 that's borrowed from the Maserati MC20 sports car. Now, it's detuned a little bit in the Grecale, but it still has 525 horsepower, and it's good for 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. Those are serious numbers for any SUV, but especially a compact luxury SUV.
The Maserati Grecale was supposed to be Maserati's breakout SUV, but instead, it's struggling to find buyers. With an average price of $79,958, dealers are dealing with a 203-day supply and 974 unsold units sitting in lots. Reliability is a concern. Consumer Reports predicts below average dependability, with early owners reporting battery failures and power steering issues, forcing multiple trips to the dealership. Fuel efficiency is another weak point. The Grecale's GT and Moderna trims are rated at 22 mpg city and 29 mpg highway, which isn't bad for a luxury SUV. However, real-world driving often returns lower figures, especially in city conditions. Maserati's pricing structure is also a challenge. The base GT trim starts at $65,000, while the Moderna trim costs around $75,000. The high-performance Trofeo variant jumps to over $105,000, putting it in the same price range as more established brands like Porsche and BMW. Despite its sleek design and performance heritage, the Grecale hasn't won over enough buyers, leaving Maserati with stagnant inventory and slow-moving sales. Number 7. Alfa Romeo Stelvio.
It's a very small grille, an inverted trapezoid that reminds me of a Bugatti, and also the way the hood, it all converges towards that center point. A lot of cars are pretty blunt and flat, but not this one. And it's so curved that you can't even really figure out where to put the license plate. Well, there's two little holes here, but if you do that, you're going to cover part of the trim here. Alfa Romeo proves that there's no excuse for generic design. Even the window profile is very unique, and without any badging, I bet you can tell this is the Stelvio versus any of the competition.
The Alfa Romeo Stelvio, meant to compete in the luxury SUV space, is struggling to hold its ground. With an average price of $56,658, dealers are stuck with a 193-day supply and 1,554 unsold units. Reliability concerns are a major factor, with the 2025 model already facing a recall from NHTSA. Fuel efficiency is modest at 22 mpg city and 28 mpg highway, giving it a combined 24 mpg. While competitive, it falls behind more efficient rivals like the BMW X3 and Lexus RX. Owner satisfaction, however, is surprisingly high. Kelley Blue Book reports that 92% of owners give the Stelvio a 5-star rating, citing its styling and driving dynamics as strengths. Number 8. Jaguar F-Pace.
The range of petrol and diesel engines, most of which have mild hybrid technology. However, the one we're playing with today is the P400e plug-in hybrid, which will be the one to go for if you're a company car driver, because its low CO2 emissions will save you a packet in monthly benefit-in-kind company car tax bills. How does it score on that front? Well, first of all, you get a powered tailgate as standard, which is very useful, and a decent square opening, and most versions get upwards of 600 litres. The downside of the 400e is that the battery packs sit underneath the boot floor, so they do eat into that space a little bit.
The Jaguar F-Pace, once a promising luxury SUV, is now struggling to stay relevant. With an average price of $71,758, dealers are facing a 187-day supply and 1,812 unsold units. Reliability has been a long-standing issue, with owners reporting problems ranging from alternator failures to coolant leaks, even at low mileage, something you don't see every day. Fuel efficiency isn't great either. The base model manages 22 mpg city and 27 mpg highway, which puts it behind some key competitors in the luxury SUV segment. For instance, the BMW X5 offers better fuel economy, making it a more appealing choice for fuel-conscious buyers. In terms of sale performance, the F-Pace has experienced a downward trend. In 2022, Jaguar sold 5,979 units of the F-Pace in the US. But this number declined to 1,611 units in 2023, representing a significant year-over-year decrease. With Jaguar planning to transition to an all-electric lineup by 2025, potential buyers may be hesitant to invest in a model that could soon be discontinued. The combination of high price, reliability concerns, and an uncertain brand future has made the F-Pace a slow seller. Number 9. Infiniti QX55.
And it goes without saying that you're going to have LED lighting everywhere you look. The Cube LED headlights, your LED daytime running lights, and your LED fog lights down here. A very nice look, classic of the Infiniti. And a lot of people I know in this day and age talk about how they don't like chrome. They say it's outdated. What are your thoughts? It seems to match on this model, or fit, maybe is a better way to put it. I do have to say that I like the lines here on the hood.
The Infiniti QX55, introduced a coupe-like luxury SUV, is struggling to gain traction. With an average price of $53,848, dealers are stuck with a 182-day supply and 1,534 unsold units. Reliability is a big problem. Owners report battery failures, causing sudden loss of power steering, raising serious safety concerns. The continuous variable transmission has also been criticized for slow, jerky gear shifts, making the driving experience less refined than competitors. The Environmental Protection Agency rates it at 22 mpg in the city and 28 mpg on the highway, which is below many rivals in the luxury SUV segment. For example, the Audi Q5 offers better fuel efficiency, making it a more attractive option for those prioritizing economy. Sales figures reflect these challenges. In 2024, Infiniti sold 2,735 units of the QX55 in the US, a decline from 3,998 units in 2023 and 5,107 units in 2022, indicating a consistent downward trend. In response to this, Infiniti has announced plans to discontinue the QX55 by the end of 2025, along with its sibling model, the QX50. This decision is part of a broader strategy to revamp the brand's lineup and move further upmarket instead of sitting on dealer lots for months. Number 10. Mazda CX-90.
New car, new platform, new everything, including powertrains. You have 3 different engine choices in the CX-90. There's a 3.3-liter turbocharged inline-6-cylinder engine that makes either 280 horsepower in the entry-level CX-90 models or 340 horsepower in the S model like this one.
Mazda CX-90 was expected to be a strong competitor in the 3-row SUV market, but it's facing serious roadblocks. Despite 5,995 units sold in December, dealerships are still dealing with high inventory due to ongoing reliability issues. owners have reported problems with the steering system, transmission, and in-car electronics, leading to multiple service visits. There are reportedly trouble spots in steering, suspension, and minor engine components, things no one wants or expects to see in their brand new car, so buyers are trying to steer away from it. Mazda's turbocharged inline-6 and plug-in hybrid powertrains were meant to be a selling point, but early reviews criticize unrefined power delivery and clunky low-speed handling. Fuel economy is decent at 24 mpg combined, but it's not enough to overshadow its questionable reliability and stiff competition from more established brands like Toyota and Kia. The base model starts at $39,220, while the range-topping trim exceeds $60,000. But with ongoing reliability concerns and stronger competitors in the segment, the CX-90 is sitting on lots longer than expected. These cars look the part and have every flashy new feature to bring in buyers, but that's just not enough to convince them to take them home. Thanks for watching. These cars may be attractive, but their sales figures aren't.